In 1955, Toyota launched a car that would remain part of its identity for more than 70 years. It began as the Model RS Toyopet Crown, a Japanese-developed sedan created when Toyota was still proving that it could build a serious passenger car with its own domestic technology. By its 70th anniversary in 2025, the same name stood across 4 very different vehicles: the Crown Crossover, Sport, Sedan, and Estate. Toyota officially calls this the 16th generation Crown program, but it is no longer a simple succession from one traditional sedan to another. Between those two moments came export mistakes, rejected styling, economic pressure, structural change, and repeated attempts to redefine what a Crown should be. The complete history of the Crown is therefore not a story of uninterrupted success, but of an institution surviving by learning when to preserve its formula and when to abandon it. The official explanation of the name is strikingly simple. Crown means the same thing as the English word. Toyota's own historical account also says that Kiichiro Toyota named the vehicle. The first Crown was launched on January 7, 1955, as the Model RS Toyopet Crown. At a time when several Japanese manufacturers were assembling cars through alliances with overseas companies, Toyota chose to develop this sedan through original Japanese design and manufacturing. The project was led by Chief Engineer Kenya Nakamura, and it did not avoid ambitious engineering, simply because Japan's post-war passenger car industry was still developing. Its front wheels used double wishbone suspension, a choice Toyota later highlighted as part of the team's determination to use advanced technology. Toyota describes the Crown as its first mass-production passenger vehicle created with its own domestic technology. That wording matters because the Crown was not Japan's first automobile, and it was not the country's first passenger car in an absolute sense. Its significance was that it gave Toyota a domestically conceived, full-scale passenger car around which engineering, production, and customer expectations could develop together. Toyota's official lineage says its arrival marked the dawn of motorization by Japanese-made automobiles. Toyota's later historical presentation went further, describing the first Crown as a symbol of Japan's recovery and growth momentum. From the beginning, it represented a belief that a Japanese passenger car could be engineered around Japanese roads and users, then improved through experience. That confidence soon encouraged Toyota to test the Crown far beyond the environment for which it had been developed. 2 sample Crowns were sent to the United States in 1957 as Toyota studied entry into the American market. Commercial exports followed in June 1958, beginning with a shipment of 30 Crown Deluxe vehicles. Toyota's American company history records sales of 287 Crowns and 1 Land Cruiser during 1958. Toyota's own history acknowledges that it already had concerns about the Crown's ability to sustain American highway speeds, yet entered the market with excessive expectations based on the car's reputation in Japan. It also says the company began business without adequately investigating local laws, regulations, and market conditions. Once customers drove the Crown at American speeds, the feared problems became real. Insufficient high-speed output, inadequate stability, severe noise and vibration, abnormal vibration, and even parts breakage. Toyota responded with revised RS22L and RS32L models in July 1960, giving them more output and better high-speed cruising performance. The corrections were not enough to rescue the Crown's position, and Toyota suspended Crown exports to the United States in December 1960. The company did not abandon America. It temporarily limited sales to the Land Cruiser while working toward a passenger car better suited to the market. A vehicle could succeed at home and still fail abroad if its engineering targets, legal preparation, and understanding of customer use did not travel with it. That willingness to record the mistake makes the Crown's early American episode one of the most important parts of its history. By the third generation in 1967, Toyota expected more individuals, rather than only professional or institutional users, to choose a Crown. Chief engineer Kameo Uchiyamada noticed that lighter colors were becoming more prominent and made the third generation available in white. The result became widely known as the White Crown. Toyota later described it as a driving force in Japan's motorization, connecting the model with the growth of personal ownership. At the same time, Crown was also expanding upward into more formal territory. The Crown 8, released in 1964, targeted major corporations and limousine services at a time when that field was associated with imported cars. It used a 2.6-liter aluminum V8, which Toyota identifies as the first V8 to power a Japanese automobile. Crown 8 was an important branch of the family, but it was not an extra-numbered generation in the main Crown chronology. The Crown formula was becoming recognizable, but it was never only one body style, one customer, or one definition of prestige. The fourth-generation model dropped the Toyopet name and arrived as the Toyota Crown. Its body tapered toward the front and rear in what Toyota's lineage calls a spindle shape, creating a uniquely avant-garde appearance. The design was meant to attract individual buyers and present a more daring image as competition increased. Yet beneath the radical body, the car largely retained its predecessor's perimeter frame and engines. Toyota says the styling appealed neither to the individuals it hoped to attract, nor to conservative corporate and institutional users. Toyota's later presentation adds that quality issues also contributed to struggling sales. For the first time since 1955, the Crown lost its class-leading position. In Toyota's own words, the Crown must first and foremost meet the core needs of its customers. That did not mean innovation had to stop. It meant innovation could no longer be separated from the expectations attached to the Crown name. The generations that followed rebuilt the Crown around a more legible promise of dignity, comfort, and trust. By the seventh generation, Toyota was no longer selling only equipment or dimensions. It was selling a social destination. The advertising line often translated as "someday." A Crown turned the car into an explicit symbol of aspiration in Japan. The eighth generation followed in 1987 and achieved what Toyota calls the highest sales volume in Crown history. Technically, the eighth generation showed how the Crown could combine continuity with increasingly sophisticated luxury. It retained a frame, but added technologies including double wishbone front suspension, electronically controlled air suspension, and traction control. A V8 joined the main Crown range in 1989, distinct from the separate Crown 858 of 1964. But the peak also exposed a problem. Once Crown had become a national status benchmark, Toyota itself could create something above it. In 1989, the Lexus LS appeared in Japan as the Toyota Celsior, changing Crown's position inside its own company. After Japan's bubble economy collapsed in 1991, recession weakened luxury demand, while imported competition intensified. In the 1991 program, the new Crown Majesta adopted a monocoque body with front and rear subframes. The Royal four-door hardtop, sedans, wagons, and vans continued with full-frame construction. In 1995, the 10th generation Royal four-door hardtop also adopted monocoque construction, while the second generation Majesta shared the new generation platform. Different branches carried different structures as Toyota changed the range without abandoning every established professional or formal role at the same moment. A further identity shift arrived with the September 1999 full model change. Toyota's model-specific release identifies it as the 11th change in Crown history and introduces the Athlete series alongside Royal and Majesta. Athlete gave the Crown a more overtly performance-oriented interpretation without replacing the comfort-focused Royal identity. That same release recorded a major but carefully bounded milestone. More than 4 million Crowns had been sold in Japan since 1955. By the end of the decade, Crown was no longer protected simply by being Toyota's familiar flagship. It had to justify itself through new structures, new identities, and a clearer reason to exist beside newer luxury cars. The 12th generation launched on December 22, 2003, under the slogan Zero Crown. Toyota's own retrospective says declining sales had created concern that the model might be approaching its end. The development team responded by redeveloping the platform and engine from scratch in pursuit of world-class driving performance. The word zero did not erase the Crown's history. It signaled a willingness to stop treating that history as a sufficient product plan. The next major shift came in 2008, when Crown Hybrid joined the Royal and Athlete range. In 2012, Toyota introduced the 14th generation and later framed it as the Reborn Crown. Royal and Athlete remained, hybrid availability expanded, and Toyota pursued a more visually assertive identity while revisiting the model's roots. Crown had entered an era in which reinvention was not an occasional response to crisis. It was becoming part of the model's normal development cycle. The 15th generation, launched in June 2018, moved that reinvention beyond the mechanical vehicle. Toyota presented the Crown as part of its first generation of connected cars and installed a dedicated data communication module as standard on every Japanese market vehicle. That connection supported services such as remote driving guidance, vehicle diagnosis, maintenance information, emergency support, and smartphone-linked functions. Connected did not mean autonomous, and the significance was not a promise that the car could drive itself. The underlying vehicle also changed through a completely renewed platform based on Toyota's TNGA strategy. Toyota paired that platform with expanded preventive safety technology and development aimed at more responsive handling and stability. Even so, Toyota concluded that connectivity and a renewed sedan alone were not enough to answer the wider changes around the brand. The company said the Crown had become less able to meet diversifying customer needs and that its presence as a flagship had become less significant. Rather than authorize another partial redesign, Toyota's leadership pushed the development team to reconsider what Crown meant from the beginning. Toyota calls the result the 16th generation Crown. But that phrase now refers to a program and a series, not merely another sedan. The first proposal was the crossover, a vehicle combining sedan and SUV ideas. The team then developed a sport, a new formal sedan, and an estate, creating 4 vehicles with different roles. The sedan preserved the formal and chauffeured side of the Crown, while also serving personal and business use. The sport emphasized an easier-to-drive, more expressive form, and the estate combined Crown dignity with utility and an active-use cabin. In Japan, the crossover uses 2 hybrid systems. The Sport offers hybrid and plug-in hybrid versions. The sedan offers hybrid and fuel cell versions, and the estate offers hybrid and plug-in hybrid versions. Those combinations describe the Japanese lineup at launch and should not be mistaken for identical availability in every global market. Crossover came first in 2022. Sport hybrid and sedan followed in 2023. Sport plug-in hybrid arrived in December 2023, and estate completed the Japanese lineup in March 2025. That final launch coincided with Toyota's official 70th anniversary year for the Crown. Toyota describes this as a cluster strategy, treating the vehicles as a group designed to answer different customer needs rather than as one product forced to serve everyone. It is the largest break in the Crown's physical identity. Yet Toyota still places it inside the numbered Crown history. So what has the Crown actually preserved across more than 70 years? It is not one chassis, because frames gave way in stages to monocoque construction. Not one engine philosophy, because hybrid and fuel cell systems joined gasoline power. And not even one body shape, because the 16th generation program became 4 vehicles. It is also not an unbroken record of success. Because America exposed an early mismatch, the fourth generation lost the market's confidence, and the 1990s weakened Crown's old position. What survived was a role, Toyota's attempt to define a leading passenger car for the needs it believed mattered in each era. That role moved from post-war domestic engineering to personal aspiration and formal transport, to connected services and multiple forms of electrification. The Crown endured when Toyota treated tradition as a responsibility to keep learning, not as permission to repeat the same car. After more than 70 years, the identity inside the name is therefore not a fixed design, but the continuing effort to balance innovation with the people expected to use it